So as of making this video, Gravewood High Alpha 1 has been released to the general public. It's hit the ground running and is winning people over who, since Hello Neighbor, have been looking for something new, something refreshing, a game that stays true to the stealth survival horror genre, but ups the ante when it comes to replayability and the lore that boils beneath the surface. The first alpha build is a treasure trove for the inquisitive player, such as myself. There's writings and names being left on blackboards and investigators' audio logs littered around the school in absurd positions, framed paper cuttings that suggest a troubled history, satanic cult-like rituals, and a lingering question of the disappearance of students and the whereabouts of another. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name is Dino, and today I'm going to try my hardest to uncover the history and the mysteries that lie within Gravewood High. There's a website online called gravewoodfiles.com. It's run by Jack Stickerseeker, an office drone by day and an investigator by night, as he so puts himself. It's a small blog-like website where Jack has compiled his independent investigations on the history behind Gravewood High. However, the updates have stopped as of recent. Before we go any further though, let's look into where the story truly begins. The small town of Alberly is the home of Gravewood High. We don't know a lot about the town, however in 1812 Fort Gravewood was founded. It was initially designed to protect the northern state border from enemy landings. However, 30 years prior to the Civil War, Fort Gravewood was to be utilised as a military prison. It was during the Civil War of 1863 that many Union captives, according to various estimates 2,000 to 4,000 people, were congregated in Fort Gravewood. Now, I don't need to give you a history lesson on how unsanitary life was back then, but most of the captives would end up dying of either diseases or starvation. 1864 comes around and a Union Army colonel, Gerald Mitchell, and 200 of his men attempted a sudden assault hoping to free captives. Presumably an unintentional mortar shell explosion caused the collapse of the fort's main building. Approximately 600 captives and 22 Confederate soldiers died that day underneath the rubble. In no time at all, the remains of Fort Gravewood were then reconstructed to serve purpose within the war effort by becoming a hospital for veterans of war. However, it only lasted close to a decade after opening in 1865, the hospital closed in 1904, to which then Fort Gravewood would become desolated. In keeping with its military background, Fort Gravewood then became a radio communication and interception point during World War II. Allegedly, 4 employees were reported to have died under mysterious circumstances, but newspapers were hasty in publishing a story about an attack from a German sabotage group. Many claim this to be a red herring, a distraction piece to what truly occurred, and it's no surprise that this story caused panic among the local population. The state governor refuted the information contained within the articles. The results of the investigation? Classified to this very day. The year is now 1966. 22 years have passed since the grounds of Gravewood were under military control, but now by instruction of the federal government, the former fort was put up for auction. The main building and surrounding infrastructure are acquired by an investor named Malcolm Douglas. He decides to turn the former military fort and hospital into a private school. Maybe now the town of Alberly can continue normal life without drama surrounding Gravewood. Or at least they thought. 3 years after the school's opening, Malcolm Douglas is arrested on suspicion of involvement in the disappearance of 3 school children. The interrogation manages to prove some form of connection to only one missing school child, but that is enough to have the man sent in for compulsory psychiatric treatment. The investigation continued, but it wasn't long into Malcolm's treatment within the psychiatric ward that he managed to commit suicide. It is believed that Malcolm's seemed cowardice was related to the disappearance of the 3 school children. Lucy Morgan went missing in 1968. She was 15 years old and participated in the school choir. She went to her usual Sunday singing class, but nobody saw her after she left. Daisy Harris, also missing since 1968. She was 16 years old. She studied vocals for several years and was a soloist in her school's choir. She went to class one day, mysteriously never returned. Lynn Hill disappeared in 1968 and was 15 years old. He was an excellent student, winner of the school mathematics tournament in 9th grade. He also participated in a school choir. He was wearing a knitted sweater on the last day he was seen. To this day, none of these children have been found. After the death of Malcolm Douglas, Gravewood High continues to operate. It's kept financially stable by Malcolm's own personal foundation. 1977 rolls around, the school is renovated and a new building is added, and the students of Gravewood now have a swimming pool and a gym to enjoy. It wasn't long until the seemingly curse of Gravewood reared its ugly head. In 1984, several members of the school staff were accused of performing satanic rituals due to the bodies of 2 teenagers appearing within the school grounds. The investigation by police were unable to identify the bodies, and in turn the suspects included several teachers accused of kidnapping and satanic rituals. The school is temporarily closed as the investigation continues. In the year 2000, there was another scandal. Several students suffered burns during a chemistry class, and in 2003, Hurricane Sierra hit the school, causing structural damage to the entire building. Naturally, building contractors were employed to clear up and repair the damage sustained to the school. But it wasn't long until, once again, a horrifying discovery was uncovered. A mass grave of bodies belonging to soldiers who served in the Civil War was inadvertently exhumed during the cleanup process. Some of the remains were even found within the school walls. In 2008, a video on the internet starts gaining popularity. Footage shows a strange glowing aura coming from one of the classrooms at Gravewood High, and also in an image, an unidentifiable object is seen floating in the air. The general consensus, though, is that the video was merely a prank. In 2016, another hurricane hit the school premises and destroys the only road connecting it to the local town. Gravewood High is now cut off from the rest of the world. Several students are hospitalised, one unaccounted for. Now, it's safe to say that the area that Gravewood High resides on seems to almost be cursed, since its early days as a fort in 1812, resulting in the lives of 600 soldiers being lost, to the mysterious account of 4 World War II radio operatives dying without any real explanation, and for the case to end up being classified to this very day. Children seemingly vanishing into thin air during its days as a private school, to the ghostly apparitions being photographed and videoed within its walls. Now, along with this history and rumours of Gravewood, it is important that we take a look at the news reports that also intertwine with what we know historically about the site and its incidents. More of a small recap on whether or not we should really take everything with a pinch of salt. 1969, school founder commits suicide. 3 school children went missing a year earlier. Malcolm Douglas, whose involvement in the disappearance of one of the students was confirmed by police, died during his stay at a psychiatric hospital. 1976, students missing. Matthew Walker and Rose Whitley lived in the neighbouring houses. On September 24th, 1976, they were seen together heading towards the school. They never returned home. The school's janitor discovered the bodies of the missing teenagers washed up on a beach half a kilometre away from the school building. 1984, more bodies found after a police raid. A terrible event shocked the city. Bodies of 2 unidentified children were discovered during a police raid on Gravewood High. The entirety of the school's teaching staff is under suspicion. Law enforcers believe that a religious cult may be involved and a former member might have tipped them off. 2003, natural disaster reveals skeletons. Hurricane Sierra struck and severely damaged the school building, which as a result was closed for reconstruction. During repair work, a mass grave with the bodies of 600 soldiers who served in the Civil War was discovered. Okay, so a lot of this information that I'm divulging to you, the listener, has been found over at gravewoodfiles.com. I've also had some information made accessible to myself through the dev team. However, what's interesting about that is that this is mostly information that has been collected by Jack Stickerseeker himself. Who or what is providing him this information? One thing that I do notice, however, is this is where the story starts to get very strange. Jack Stickerseeker, the man responsible for gravewoodfiles.com. Jack works as an office drone IRL, in real life, as he puts it himself, as well as being an independent freelance investigator. Might I add, he also comes across as an urban explorer. Whether he likes that detail or not, that's pretty much what he is. He also seems very charismatic and cannot help himself when it comes to trying to solve mysteries and riddles that have a beginning but no end. The first evidence we get of Jack's work and possible presence in Gravewood High are his audio log recordings that we can find scattered around the school in various different and very much secret locations. They detail his discovery and findings of his journey to uncovering whether the urban legends of Gravewood High are true or not. However, as we discover, each audio recording tend to be precise. It seems that Jack's sanity slowly deteriorates. Jack approaches the Gravewood High mystery after researching urban legends in the small town of Alberly, as he is going to be staying there for a couple of months for his job. His intentions were to visit a local mental asylum. However, Gravewood High holds mysteries that are yet to be solved. He lists numerous ghostly anomalies that have occurred, but one that stands out is the mystery of the missing kids. Children that have disappeared at different time periods, but the same scenario occurs. They leave school and never return. It's this that leads Jack on an adventure within Gravewood High, where according to the audio logs, Jack gradually begins to succumb to the truth that lies within the walls of Gravewood. His first visit results in disappointment, as the school's been boarded up. However, Jack experiences something that at first can only be described as false memories and emotions, almost like Jack is being used as a vessel by something unknown. Take a listen.
Okay, I got unbelievably lucky. A colleague of mine was about to drive to Alberly's direction sooner than my planned visit. Naturally, I asked him to give me a ride. What I saw was just an ordinary school building that had been shut down. It's fairly small, which is unusual for a private school built in the 60s, and completely unassuming. So far, the creepiest part about the school is its name. Everything's locked and boarded up, so I couldn't get inside. I expected as much, but I was still disappointed. I wandered around to survey the surroundings, then a strong sense of anxiety entered my body. I had this feeling like I lost something, and I couldn't find it. Something precious, and it made me unbearably sad. For a second or so, it seemed like those feelings weren't entirely mine. I get a similar feeling when I watch old war movies and recognize the evils mankind is capable of, our true cruelty. Update, you guys probably think I'm too sensitive. That's partly true, since I get so worked up over places shrouded in mystery, but I swear to you, it wasn't just an abandoned building. Gravewood High seems to be hiding some sinister secret.
Jack approaches this emotional possession with a sense of logic to his followers by playing it down that he's just a bit too sensitive sometimes. He knows what he felt though. He knows that Gravewood High holds a dark secret, and just 6 days later, Jack is being reminded of his strange encounter.
I had a dream about that school today. It seemed as though it had only been abandoned yesterday. There was stuff scattered around the floor in the classrooms, books, loose infantry, that kind of thing. I spent some time just walking around, and then a red-headed girl appeared. She kept asking, "Have you found it? Have you?" And here I am, writing as soon as I awoke. I wonder if the school actually looked like it did in my dream, and who's that girl? Gravewood High, first floor, main hall. Listen to this. Did you hear that?